Action!
Alright, for this math lesson, we're going to be doing the Venn diagrams. And we're wondering if you can solve Venn diagrams as a problem-solving tool? Why, yes, we can use a Venn diagram as a problem-solving tool. They can model information, and as such as this, it's kind of like linking rings. We have an M and an E, and right here is an A on this side and a C right here, and the B right here. Well, that's the things that are just likes. So let's take a look at some examples. In this example 1, in a sweet family reunion, 31 members were present. 24 of them were caramel. Out of those 8 were both caramel and chocolate. And 2 were neither caramel or chocolate because they were adopted. And out of that question, we're going to figure out how many were just chocolate but not caramel. Well, here, instead of me just hand drawing my 2 circles, I decided that I would use 550 paracord to make my 2 circles on this piece of paper. And there is my A side and my C side, and right here is going to be my B. Well, it said we had 31 members, and we were going to try to figure out how many were just chocolate. And we had 2 that were neither because they were adopted. And here I'm going to use shortbread cookies because they were neither, as you can see. And it said we had 31 and 24 were caramel, and 8 right here were both caramel and chocolate. So that's the ones we were going to focus on first. So we had 8, so they're caramel and chocolate. So I'm decided I'm going to use Rolos because they're both caramel and chocolate. We had 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now the thing about that is we had 8. Well, because they're both caramel and chocolate, we've got to subtract the 8 from the 24. And how many of those we have left is going to be just our caramel. Well, that's just simple math. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, if we sit there and we count them all together, the ones that were both caramel and chocolate and the ones that were just caramel, we should come up with the number 24. So, we're going to make sure we count them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, to solve all this together so that we can find out how many were just our chocolate relatives, we've got to make sure that we have 31. Remember, we had 24 that were just caramel, 8 that were both caramel and chocolate, and 2 that were neither because they were adopted. So, we're going to do just our simple subtraction, and how many that are left over are going to be our chocolate relatives. Well, we have 24 there, 2 here, which is 25 and 26. We're going to subtract that from our 31, and that's going to give us how many are just our chocolate relatives. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, so we can make sure that we end up with our 31 relatives that were present at our sweet family reunion. Let's make sure we did our math correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And as you can see with this Venn diagram, as delicious as it is, we were able to make sure that we had 31 family members present and accounted for. And we solved how many were just chocolate and not caramel. And right here were family members that were both our adopted ones, our chocolate ones, and our caramel ones. All solved by using our Venn diagram. So let's get this one cleared up, and we'll move on to the next example. So we can get on to a much more complicated one that has 3 circles. And here we have example 2. The Candy family had 40 people show up at their wedding, and below is our guest list. But some of the numbers are missing. They couldn't figure out how many whatchamacallits had attended their wedding. Now with the whatchamacallits, they have all the same ingredients below, but they have one extra ingredient. Determine how many attended the wedding using the information below. Well, we're going to use our Venn diagram again, only this time we have an extra circle. And as you can see, we'll start with our 2 basic ones as well, with our paracord, which my table is a little bit small. There we go. As much as I can. And we're going to start from our bottom up. We have chocolate, caramel, and shortbread cookie. We have 2 of those. Well, if we make that one, it's going to wind up making a Twix. We have 2. So, when we do that, we'll put it right here in our middle. It has all of them. We have 2 Twix. Well, when we sit there and mark that off, well, it winds up leaving us with only 1 caramel and shortbread cookie, which is a caramelized one. See? Which goes right here. We'll mark that one out. We'll wind up doing the math up the tree. And it leaves us with chocolate and caramel. Well, if we remember the last one on that, it's going to be Rolos. Doing the math on up it, we'll have 4. And then we're up to here. Shortbread and chocolate. They'll give us one of those. A shortbread cookie. And now we're at the caramels. Leave us with 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're up here at the shortbreads, doing all the math onto it. Leaves us with 2 of them. 1, 2. And then we're at the chocolates, which is only 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now doing all the math on that, we got to count all these. We know that we have 10 of these. We have 1 of these. We have 2 of these. 2 of these. 1 of these. 4 of these. And 4 of these. Now we're going to add all these up. 10, 4, 4,
It's 10.
2, 1, 1, and 2. We're going to add all these up. It's going to give us 24. Now it said we have 40 people. So we're going to come over here and do 40 minus 24. That's going to give us 16. Now, since this is our inner circle here, we need to figure out what's out here, which is where our whatchamacallit people are going to be. Well, it's going to say that that is 16 whatchamacallits that attended this wedding. And wouldn't you know it, I have 16 whatchamacallits right here that attended this wedding. So all of our wedding guests are accounted for. So all 40 people that are on this guest list are now all present and accounted for. And by using this Venn diagram, I was able to solve how many people were here. So now I can sit there and tell the Candy family I have solved their dilemma. All by using this Venn diagram.